Hey everyone, welcome back to Pearls of Wisdom. So I've heard a couple news stories, which we talked about one briefly yesterday, and that was where Biden is pardoning Hunter, going back 10 years for anything that he could possibly have done in, in that time frame. But oddly, he's preemptively looking to pardon a whole bunch of other people too. Like Pelosi and Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney. It's how is that right? I mean, there's been no charges that have been brought to this point, so how can there even be a pardon is my question. So if anybody has any insight to that, please do share. And another story that I came across is, I mean, the North Carolina people, the victims of Helene, they're still battling there for survival. And I saw this one gal come on, and she's had verified that there's a scammer, and the gal's name is Lacey Montgomery, and she has been scamming people down there for money and not giving it, to the people of North Carolina. I think she said that they're from Florida, and they just kind of travel around, and they're homeless and drug addicts, and they had all confirmation on that information. And so that's pretty sad. So first off, the one thing is know who you're sending your money to. Years ago we didn't have to worry about that. If we decided that we wanted to donate, it was pretty legitimate. We didn't have all the scams that there are now. And now it's really sad that, people are, the sunlight, the sun's finally coming out. The day's almost over. But anyway, they've got the GoFundMe opportunities, and it just, I mean, it's just sick what people are doing. I know that I had mentioned that yesterday, or one of the last couple videos, is the scamming is just atrocious. And I mean, I've seen a number of scams even on the street where they were begging for money, and then, go jump in a car that's better than mine. It's just like something's wrong with us. And so now you feel like you can't give because, people are taking advantage of it, and they're making a lot of money, in a year, and their yearly salaries of begging, exceed somebody that's working, 40, 50 hour work week. I was like, okay, something's wrong with that. But anyway, back to the story, where Hunter was pardoned, because of, he was a drug addict, he didn't know what he was doing, blah blah blah. And I'm wondering, why are we allowing, that to be an excuse to commit crimes, or people having trauma in their childhood, and or whatever else. It's like, wait a minute. I mean, a lot of people have gone through some sort of trauma, and not everybody feels the need to commit a crime. So why are we allowing this as a society? And the fentanyl coming in, and all the money that, why are we putting so much money for mental health and drug abuse? I can't quite understand why that's a taxpayer issue and that wouldn't be an insurance issue. I guess I just fail to understand that it's, I've seen so many videos out there that people that are on the streets and doing drugs, they choose that life for themselves. In many cases, is that they're choosing to do drugs. So I don't understand why we would, throw money at them and then they go right back out because they don't want to change. Then they go right back out and start doing it again. If, if they do get, some sort of therapy. Now, granted, there are some that want help. So then, okay, set that help aside. And when they come to you, then offer them the assistance of a rehab. But you can't force them to do it. Yeah, and I know this guy. He's really well off, and he's got a son that has a terrible drug problem, an alcohol problem, and his dad pretends that it doesn't exist, and he keeps throwing money at him, because I need money for this or that, or I mean, there's a lot of pretty shady things that his son has been pulling that is illegal, and his dad doesn't do anything. He just enables them to keep on going. And I mean, that's between him and his son if he chooses to enable them, but he can't even get them. He might put them in rehab for a day or two or three, and then his son comes out and is more violent and hits the drugs harder. And one day, his son had wandered off away from home. Well, anyway, then the dad had left and was driving down the road and saw his son laying face down in the ditch. And he kind of got out and looked and saw the flies flying around him. And he wouldn't even go out down in the ditch and check on his son. He went running, to somebody, called him up, and he's like, I think he's dead, and wouldn't check on him. And he was standing right there. Well, as it turns out, then, two people went to help, and his son wasn't dead that time. But I mean, he's on the edge, I mean, he's outrunning drug dealers, and I mean, what a crazy thing, it's, and I don't know. I don't know what that would be like as a parent to have your kid in that situation. I mean, you have to, the tough love, and if you want to save their life, you don't just keep giving them more money to be worse and worse. I don't know. Well, I just let me know your thoughts on that. And another thing that I was thinking about is, like, I was working with some people, and they get where it wasn't a drug rehab, but they go to these drug clinics, and these clinics give them like certain drugs, where they're like rationed out or something, and I'm thinking, why are we paying for that? It just blows my mind. I just cannot understand why we're paying to keep junkies. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with this. I don't understand what I'm missing. So if anybody can offer some insight as to why we're putting so much money into, the drug rehabs, or the fentanyl, or the mental health for people that don't want to be helped. So if anybody can offer that, I'd really appreciate it, because I don't want to look like this villain person where it's like, sure, if somebody wants help, great, I'm all for it. But it's just like, I guess that's kind of our government. They just throw money at a problem and with no real solution. They just think that throwing money at a problem is going to fix it. And it's like, well, no. I mean, a fine example of that is California and all their homelessness and their drug problems. They've thrown millions and billions at it, and they still have the problem, and it's even gotten bigger. So Anyway, I guess that was my thought for today. So if you can offer any insight and let me know what you think of what the best solution would be, or if it's shouldn't even be on us, I really appreciate the comments. So anyway, till I come up with something new tomorrow, we'll talk to you then, and hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.